in a tax firm, this is also a classification. And you can be doing all of these things as a partner or a principal in a tax firm. You can be the tax lawyer, you can be the tax auditors, you can be the tax consultant or the tax accountant for the particular tax firm you are a partner in or you own. So we move to career specializations. So career specializations, so after knowing that we can be a tax auditor, we can be a tax accountant, and so on and so forth. So we have specializations as individuals. So this is basically what I want to specialize on as a tax professional. Okay, I want to specialize on personal income taxes. So basically what I need to do here in this case is I need to be conversant with my PIT Act. That's a PICA, as the case may be. So what I'm doing here is I'm managing the personal income tax of enterprises or individuals as a company, or I'm also managing the payee computations of companies and filing of payee as at when due, so that the company can be compliant and not have any penalty or interest. And also your annual returns filing of the employees in a company. So I might choose that this is basically what I want to do. I don't want to do corporate taxes. I don't want to do tax audit. I don't want to do general taxes. This is basically what I want to do. And Mr. B might say, I want to do corporate taxes. Basically, I want to do transfer pricing. So we have our own differences and we have to choose individually. You can't just be a jack of all trades and a master of none. So if you want to do corporate taxes, you have to be conversant with your Corporate Income Tax Act. You have to be conversant with your Capital Gain Tax Act. You have to be conversant with your income tax transfer pricing regulations as 2018. You have to be conversant with your new withholding taxes regulations. You have to be conversant with your value-added taxes act, and so on and so forth. Also, some individuals might say, or Mr. C might say, I want to practice tax audit. So I mentioned earlier that in some cases you have to be a consultant, or you have to be you have to work for the tax authorities. So in either cases, you are to handle investigations, desk reviews, audits for both non-corporate and corporate residents, as the case may be. So that's basically what tax audit I've explained earlier. So for general taxes, so some individuals might say, oh, I want to be jack of all trade. I want to be an expert. I want to be an expert in PIT. I want to be an expert in corporate taxes. I want to be an expert in tax audit. I also want to be an expert in international taxes as a person. So it's a matter of choice and what you believe you can do, and how conversant you are with the various tax laws and regulations that we have. So in conclusion, so I would say building a rewarding career in tax in Nigeria requires a combination of technical skills, professional certifications, and strategic growth planning. So as a tax professional, you have a growth plan you want to ride on. This is basically where I want to go. This is basically what I want to do. You don't just jump on any offer that comes your way. I mean, we are in Nigeria, we want to make money, but I mean, what is what's doing well, or how did they say it? So if you have a growth plan, you have to stick to it and get the technical skills here, the professional certifications that is needed for it. Also, lastly, I would say with dedication and hard work, tax professionals can achieve success and make a meaningful contribution to the Nigerian economy. I mean, so if you look at the economy, the tax figures plays a significant impact when it comes to the revenue, as the case may be. So if we would all be just and doing our jobs the right way, without akipanki, Nigeria will become a better place. And thank you for listening. And Chizoba, you can You have the space now.
Wow. So much, Lekan, for taking your time to simplify, to really break down this whole tax practice thing to us, especially for the new ones like the fresh graduates, the entry level professionals, those in their 0 to 2 years work experience, those who are seeking to break into taxation as a profession or something. Thank you for really simplifying this. I believe that they've really learned a lot. Even some of us, those of us that we are we are already in the industry, we're already in practice. Like there are so many new things that we picked today, we picked this evening. So thank you so much. We really appreciate the way you broke down the skills required, the certifications, even the career path and everything. So one of the points you raised under soft skills, you said communication. And the person seeking to break into tax, the communication skills has to be very sharp. I can really attest to that in terms of writing and speaking. Because as a tax professional, you are going to write, like you are going to write objection letters. Sometimes you might have a lot of back and forth between you and the tax authorities and all that. Then speaking, you might have to defend. You do a lot of defense, especially if you are in the aspect of tax audit and all that. Maybe you work in consulting, you would have to defend your client's tax position and all that. And I think a colleague of mine once said why he doesn't like tax is because they do a lot of reading. Like there's a lot of reading involved in taxation, that we're always reading. I said yes, and you have to read, because now that the tax laws and everything is changing, if you don't read, you won't stay updated. And if you're not updated, there's no how you can really like excel in your career. That's just the truth about it. And then there's a part where you said tax lawyers, they are the ones that drive more. I agree with that too. Absolutely, I agree. Okay. In my current job, I work as a tax planning officer at Sterling Bank. So one day I was talking to a colleague of mine, and he said, that one of the tax lawyers, that okay, not one, that normally organizations, they have tax disputes with the tax authorities, and when you have those kind of disagreements that is difficult for you to resolve and settle amongst yourself, you guys will take yourselves to the tax appeal tribunal. That's the TAT. That's like the court that judge matters between tax the tax authorities and tax and organizations and all that, and consultants. So he was telling me that the tax lawyers that help us out in our tax issues with the tax authorities at the TAT, that's the tax appeal tribunal, that those guys, they earn like they charge, you don't know how many millions they collect for just one case. I kind of screamed like, wow, like these guys are really cashing out by being just tax lawyers. So they actually like it's very lucrative. It's quite lucrative. So thank you so much, Lekan. I really appreciate you doing this for us. So now we're open to taking questions. For those who have questions for Lekan, please let me see. Do we have any hands raised? Do we have questions for Lekan, or we should just let him go like that? Please feel free to unmute your mic and speak. Oh. Iyiola, please unmute your mic and speak.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good
Thanks
evening.
again, Call, for walking us through all of that. So I just have one question. With the advent of AI, um, basically with all that's going on right now, how can we as tax professionals adopt AI? Because I feel like certain jobs or certain duties or certain activities that we carry out can be, I don't know, I stand to be corrected, but I feel like some of them can be taken away through the adaptation of AI. So how do we ensure that we adapt to it, probably use it to our advantage, such that human knowledge is not waved off completely? So that's my question.
Thank you, Yola. Thank you very much. So, to tackle your question, I'll say as tax professionals, AI is very, very key because It helps you to be up to date. One, it helps you in terms of training. It helps you to be upskilled. So as AI has the capabilities of training or providing training. So when I say training, so in terms where you have to use your Excels, or you have to use your Excel, you have to present, or you type your letters to the tax authorities. I believe that if you present a better instruction to your AI, it will give you your letter or your report to FIRS in a meaningful way. But mind you, using AI in such a way can put your company to risk. How do I mean? So, I mean, all this AI thing, blah, 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 she is clouded. We don't know the end result of it. We don't know who is managing it or who is seeing those informations we are putting at the back end. So, and confidentiality is a key thing as a tax professional. You can't just release your companies or your clients' figures just like that to the public. So we have to be very careful using AI as tax professionals. But I mean, when it comes to training, when it comes to efficiency and accuracy in terms of your communication and use of your grammar for communication sakes, AI can do well to help us with that. And thank you. I just hope I've answered your question.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, Lekan, for that response. I can see another hand is raised. Vista Craft Homes Limited. Please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Lekan, for the presentation as well as Idris. So I think the section was insightful. So my question is that in terms of the career path towards, and as well as the certification towards becoming a tax accountant, right? I saw the likes of ICANN as a certification, ACCA as well as the CITN. So my own question, the question I'm trying to ask now is that is it that when you are ACCA certified, you can be licensed to operate as a tax consultant, right? Or when you are an ACA certified, you are licensed to practice as a tax consultant. So what is the relationship between the three certification as it relates to being a tax consultant in Nigeria?
Thank you, Vista Crafts Homes Limited. But I still can tell the voice to that name actually. Ridwan, good evening and thank you for joining the session. So certification and being a tax consultant. So I would say that having all these certifications does not make you a tax consultant automatically. I said it on the slide that the importance of it makes you relevant in the sector if you choose to practice as a tax consultant. It makes you relevant, it makes the field also relevant. That is what the certification does. So being a tax consultant, so I would answer this question in two ways. As a firm, you have to go through the normal registration process of CAC or being incorporated, and I'm very sure as a firm that want to practice tax in Nigeria, you have to go through a training that will give you that certification and under ICANN. That's in Nigeria. I'm not too sure about this, but I'm 50% sure of this. Yes, 50% sure of this. So it has a training where you'll be given the certification to practice as an auditor and a tax professional in Nigeria. So there's no really a body that makes you a tax consultant, but any company that is let's say an audit firm can practice as a tax consultant. So as an individual now, so I've talked about firm. So as an individual now, what makes you a tax consultant is the fact that you're being employed by a tax firm or an audit or accounting firm to act as tax consultant on behalf of your client. That's what makes you a tax consultant. And before you can be employed in such capacity, the company must be certified that or satisfied that you have the basic skills, certifications, which ICANN and ACCA and CITN are basic certifications you must have before we go to the CPA levels and so on and so forth. I mean, Ridwan, you are a CITN member. You are also an ICANN member, so you can also tell from experience. So I'll rest my case here.
All right. Thank you very much, Lekan, for the response. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your questions. Okay, Oyedari and Yola, please ask your question.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you to the facilitator. So, I want to ask that how can someone go into the being a tax lawyer, for example, especially when you don't study law in school? And I also want to know if studying law is also one of the important qualifications to have.
Okay, thank you for your question. So as the case may be, being a tax lawyer, you have to have a degree from a law school. Being a tax lawyer, not a tax accountant. So being a tax lawyer, you have to have a degree from a law school, and you have to go through the bar and licensure to practice law. That is the information I have. Yes, you have to be a degree holder in a law school, and you have to have a license to practice law as a tax lawyer in Nigeria. Yes.
All
That's to
right,
answer.
thank you. Okay.
All right. I think my hand is raised. Olarunke Obayeza, please unmute and ask your question.
Okay, hi everyone. Good evening. And thanks to the facilitator. I really gained a lot during this training. My question is, at what point in like the career do you decide what specific tax path you want to go into? Like, is it at the beginning or at the mid level? When do you know that, oh, okay, this is what I want to specialize in? And the second question to that is that once you've decided the career path you want to go to, how do you explore opportunities or gain clarity? For example, maybe I want to specialize in company income tax. How do I go about exploring opportunities in that part? Would there be jobs specifications to say, oh, this is what you need to do to be in this space? I don't know if you get my question.
Thank you, Olarunke. Thank you for your question. I totally understand your question. So your questions are in two forms. So we have the first one, which is which parts do you get to choose the career or the tax career path you want to follow? Then the second one says after choosing, what next? So I would take the first one. So we don't have a specific time for you to choose, but it is best for you to start at that entry level where you're just beginning as a professional or when you're just starting your career, but there's no specific time where you can decide that, oh, I want to practice tax. I mean, as a person, I started practicing tax let's say 2 years ago, although I started my career as a general audit tax person because I worked in an co firm where you have to do everything. You have to do audit, you have to do accounting services, you have to do tax also. So basically, I used to be an accounting and audit professional. But along the line, I just feel like tax is sweet and I want to practice tax. So there's no specific timing to it. You can start or choose your career path as a tax person anytime, but it's better and best to be at the entry level or the beginning of your career. So the second question is after choosing that, oh, this I want to be a corporate tax person, what is the next thing to do? So I mean, I always prefer to say that opportunities will come and you have to shoot. When you see the opportunities, you just have to give it all your best to get that opportunity because they say it comes once. So you have to choose and you have to shoot for it and you have to get it. That is it. And along the line, after choosing, even leaving the job part, we still have to keep on. You have to specialize in the kind of trainings you put in for. I mean, the big fours organize, I think, quarterly meetings and webinars for, I think it's monthly. Yes, I'm very aware of Deloitte's own, where you can come in, they train you on a particular aspect of the tax, be it corporate, be it personal income taxes, be it filing compliances, and so on and so forth. So you just have to choose your training right when you are certain that this is what I want to do. So that's to answer your question.
All right, thank you so much. Lekan. So before we pick the next question, the next person to ask their question, for those who cannot really see the chat box, I dropped a comment, I dropped a request there. Please, we would like you to share with us your feedbacks from this session, your key takeaways, any topic you would like us to treat in the next webinar. Kindly type in the comment section. Who knows, perhaps we might just pick your topic and the next webinar will be based on your topic. So just type, let us know what you feel about this session before we take the next participant to ask their question. Thank you. So, okay, Grace Amarachi, I think your hand is raised. Oh, she's no longer here. All right
Good
then. So do we?
evening. Good evening. Good
Okay.
evening. Thank you so much, Chizoba, for this opportunity to learn and to grow. And thank you to the first speaker. I'm trying to capture your name, but thank you so much. It's an interesting session. Thank you, Lekan, too, for teaching us on how to navigate through the process of the career path of tax. Thank you. So my question, I think you've answered it. And that's why I put down my hand, actually. But let me just reiterate my question. So my question is also in the line of career. So I've had this conversation before with someone, and my question is, okay, so I started my career in accounting, where I worked as an accountant, and I've always wanted to work in a consulting firm, to practice tax, auditors maybe, but actually have interest in tax, right? However, my path has been amazing in the sense that with accounting, and now I'm in audit, right? So, and for the audit, I just started getting experience in the field. I didn't have prior, of course, maybe because I'm chartered now. So for me, what I was taught in class, but I mean by practical experience, I did not have. So I'm asking now, in this situation, while practicing or while in audit, can I still um can I still carry out tax services. Can I say carry out tax services as well? Build myself more on tax because I have knowledge on tax, at least to an extent. But of course, tax is a field that is good and you keep improving. And also, is it something I can still like practice or do on the side? I don't know how to explain, but just trying to understand my question. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Grace. Or I call you Amarachi. So,
Whichever. Thank you.
you practice audit here, I know, and you're asking if you still can practice as a tax person. I mean, yes, you can practice as a tax person. And so basically what I would say is, as an accountant or related or whatever you're doing in this related field, you can't just stop learning. It's a continuous process. I mean, I've done audits before. I've done accounting services before. I've done in-house finance person before. So, and now I'm a tax person. So, I just believe that we can't just stop learning. And being an auditor still even gives you room more to understand the nomenclature that comes with tax. And how do I mean? So, in cases where you go for audit, you see your ECL schedule, you see your impairment schedules, you see your GL schools. As someone that has interest in tax, you throw questions like, why do you have this kind of narration in your GL? Why not do it this way? Because of tax purposes and all of those things. I mean, it's a very fantastic job being an auditor and you still have interest in tax. It's a very, very fantastic cravings. Yes, I must say. It's a very, very fantastic. So when I see ECL schedule or I see my geo narrations, I see my impairment classifications, I already know what to do because I already have that eye for tax before. So it's a yes. And yes, you would do well as an auditor and you having an eye for tax practices. Yes, you would. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. We've come to the end of this session. I really appreciate your patience for staying through with us from the beginning till this very moment. So you can always follow us on LinkedIn. You can follow me on LinkedIn. My name is Chisoba Ngudo. You can follow our speakers. Speaker one, his name is Idris Balogun on LinkedIn. You can also follow Lekan Rasaq on LinkedIn. So you will always find us there. For if you have any other feedback or anything you wish to say, you can find us there. Thank you so much for staying to this very moment. We know you could have been anywhere else. Today is Saturday. You could have been at a party or something, but you chose to be here with us. So we really appreciate you. Until the next time we meet again, which is hopefully in the next 2 months or 3 months, till the next webinar. Thank you so much and stay safe. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Sure. No test.